it has to be said, there are at the moment precious few Rover 800 videos on YouTube. So here is one of mine, using obviously a fixed camera, as you can tell by the way it's fixed, and going around the bend there. This here is the 1987 or 88 registered Sterling 2.7 that I've just picked up, MOT'd and good to go, and oddly early flappy door handles, which is very odd, and obviously 6-dial dash with non-working S4 button, which is interesting. Let's sort that out. But yeah, all in all, very nice car. Photos didn't do it justice, to be honest with you, and more on it a bit later when I actually start doing all of the plans for restoration. Right, we're now doing 60-ish miles an hour with cruise set, as you can tell. And instantaneous fuel consumption is about 40-ish mpg, although we are going slightly downhill. But the older style non-climate control air conditioning, which needs new pipework at the moment. Looking at it, might need a new condenser, so I'll have to get a complete AC system. And at the moment, here we are. Going along, doing a nice healthy, very healthy 60 miles an hour, touch wood, everything's going to be fine. Warm air coming out the vents, always good. We might need to invest in a new thermostat because that is reading quite low. Oil pressure, that's alright. All the other ones I've had in the past have been like that. Battery, also fine, all the ones I've had in the past have also been like that. MPG up a slight incline, 33.9, bang on for a C27A. And yeah, a couple of little interior shots there. As you can see, you can tell it's an 827, so you've got the different centre console seat switches, despite it having the, as they call them, hockey stick style door trims, which are very, very different to the later ones. You only had this interior on the really early ones, to be honest with you, and this is a really early one, which I'm really pleased to actually be driving at the moment, because there are not many of these left. So, there we go. I'm now going to continue the rest of this exciting journey with cruise set at 60. We've got half a tank of fuel, all the gauges are settled quite nicely. Coolant temperature, it is getting warm, but I will double check that. I can't remember what a thermostat is. I've got a feeling it is that side of the engine, and I've got to dig around a little bit to get to it, but that will probably be one of the first things I'll replace. However, it could be a dodgy sender as well, because these dashboards are not renowned for their reliability in any way, shape or form. But so far so good, and we also have, I think, but they don't look illuminated at the moment, we should have the illuminated stalks. And yeah, all good so far. Thank you for watching. Right, bit of an update. We're on the motorway at the moment, doing just over 50, keeping it steady. The low coolant light is on, but I've already stopped to check, and the expansion tank is very full. Also, if I put the heater control up to hot, the interior does get very hot, which says to me that it hasn't dropped below the level of the cylinder heads, so it's absolutely fine. In fact, yeah, it's getting hot at the moment. Temperature gauge, can't really trust it, but nothing untoward appears to be going on. No horrible lights, in fact that's actually getting uncomfortably hot now. I'll turn that down in a minute. Had a little bit of rumble from the wheels at about a little bit earlier, about 50, 60 miles an hour. That's now disappeared. So I'm either thinking it's wheel bearings or it could just be the tyres themselves, because it has been stood for a while. So these tyres that are on it at the moment are probably a little bit flat spotted. That's the rumble strip. Is that there? As I'm going. Not going too badly otherwise. Touch real actual walnut wood trim. There we go. Had a bit of nice moments actually with the Rover 75. It's a 2001 2.5 litre V6. Looked like a connoisseur. Basically was in the middle lane and went very, very slowly past me. He's hung back for quite a while in the middle lane whilst he was looking at the car, and when he came past me he gave me a really big smile, which I thought was nice of him. So there's obviously someone that's owned one of these in the past and has upgraded to the KV6 Rover 75. So that was quite nice. Having been away from the 800 series for so many years, it's interesting coming back to it and just seeing just how different it is to what I remember. I mean, for one, I never remember the interior being this cramped or small. I never remember the car being just quite this narrow. But it just goes to show that I've been spoiled with far newer cars, like the 2008 Vectra, for example, which is a far bigger car than this inside. And it is interesting, to sort of note just how different it is to what I remember. I also never remember one being quite this smooth. I've never owned an 800 that has ridden quite this well before. And this just sort of seems to suggest that this is what they were like out the factory. I mean, this one's only got 66,206 miles on it from new. This is a 26-year-old car. For a 26-year-old car to have that kind of mileage on it, it probably has never really gone anywhere or been used. I know it's been laid up for a number of years, so that's probably got something to do with it to a certain extent. But yeah, it's just, it is nice to be driving one again. Quite a pleasant experience. It is just interesting to note just sort of how things are as you remember them, but they're not quite as you remember them. I mean, I never remember one, as I said earlier, I never remember one riding quite this well. I never really actually remember one smelling like this one does inside. This one actually smells like an old car now. It smells like an old leather-trimmed car. It smells like my old Jag, for example, which had that wonderful sort of smell of nicely aged leather. And the seats are desperately dry and do need treating, but I want to try and treat them in such a way that I don't get rid of this sort of interior smell, which is sort of quite evocative. And yeah, a few little things inside don't work, but it's 26 years old, a few interior lights don't work, for example. It's also astonishing just how, compared to modern cars, just how slim these windscreen pillars are. I mean, modern cars have got so much heavier because of the amount of metalwork that now goes into them to effectively make them so safe. It's not saying that this isn't a safe car, but you can certainly tell it is a car of its time. In fact, just pulling back, you get the full illuminated effect of the dash and the window controls. Anyway, time to sign off, and on our way home, and should be there soon.